running a little late. Later than I was anticipating. What's up, folks? It's Steve Holmes. We're back with another stream from the drum room here in Los Angeles. We're going to play some drums. We're going to talk some drums. We're going to try to maybe play along with some tracks. We're going to test it out, I think. We've been putting it off for too long, and it's time to just, see how the current stream setup does with a couple different tracks. I've got a couple in mind that we're going to test. Those of you that tuned in last week might recall we got some new overhead mics here that we did one stream with so far. We're pretty pleased with them. These are the Audix SCX25As. Okay, that's what we got going. So far, they sound pretty good. Since then, I've made a couple of tweaks to the setup. We backed off the snare mic a little bit. Last week, it was way too close. And then I added a room mic over there. Are we pointing to the room mic? Yes, we are. Right there. There we go. Right there. There it is. We took one of the old overheads and, we're experimenting. This is the point of having this room, of having this stuff. I'm not an engineer, as you've heard me say a million times. But for those that don't know, we're just we do what we call figure it out studios. Here we do a lot of research and we use our ears. And generally speaking, folks seem to like the drum sound that we get in here. And we're always trying to tweak it and, make it better. So that's part of the fun. That is part of the fun. So right now we're streaming to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Kick, actually. Kick.com. We can maybe check on the stream here, see what's doing with it. Okay, so this is Restream. How we doing on YouTube? Let's see. Oh, there we are. Hey, look, how we doing on YouTube? Boom. Let's see. We're doing okay, Steve. Oh, there we are. Yes. Hey, look, there we are. How we doing on YouTube? Boom. Let's see. We're streaming okay, live Steve. On YouTube. Oh, there we are. Yes. Hey, look, let's say something. How we doing on I'm gonna type a comment. Boom. We're streaming okay, live. Steve. Okay, that's enough on YouTube. All right, we're just testing, just seeing, just seeing how it's working. Oh, look, Steve Holmes said hi. Hey, Steve, how's it going? Appreciate you tuning in. Oh man. Okay, so what we're gonna do here today is we're going to warm up first. We're gonna play a little bit. Please post feedback. Let me know if there's any issues with the sound. If it sounds okay. I'm pretty rusty. I need to warm up. I haven't played at all this week. I haven't played since the last stream last week. So we're going to warm up. We're going to play a little bit. I'm not planning on going crazy because we need to save our energy for these tracks if we're going to play along with some tracks. So I thought that would be fun. So let's warm up and see what's what. Cheers. Cheers. Da-da-da-da. All right. So I guess I I guess I still went a little bit crazy there, but there's momentum, you know. Like you start playing, like stuff starts coming out, and you know, I try to successfully stick with themes, you know, and it's challenging. It is challenging. Hi there. Hi. How you doing? All right, OBS. We can turn off our camera switcher now. Let's turn that off. All right, there we go. And back to the laptop camera. Okay. What's up, folks? It's Steve Holmes. We're streaming live from Los Angeles. What you hear is the result of several months of tweaking. Be a little touch louder in the mix. I'm reading Matthias's comment. Matthias has a great drum sound, really knows what he's talking about. The 12 and 16 seem to sound a bit fuller in the mix. So maybe it's not the volume, but the EQ. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for hanging out, folks. Let's see. On YouTube, Stanislaw says, "Hello, Steve. Your streams are so worth informational, so inspiring. Can you show please Flam's application or exercises? Flam exercises. Yeah, maybe we'll do a little bit of that." Let's see. Check out Romulos on YouTube in Poland. He's like, "Hello, it's Poland. Play. It's a waste of time." Okay, I'm playing. Oh man, Taylor Hatch on Facebook says, "Hey Steve, what's up, Taylor? Thanks for hanging out. What's been giving you creative fascination outside of music?" says Taylor Hatch on Facebook. Good question, Taylor. Thank you for that. What's been giving you creative fascination outside of music? Well, my job, for one. For those that don't know, I'm a video game designer, and that has a pretty large element of creativity to it. So that definitely stimulates the creative side of my brain in different ways, and has all kinds of challenges to go along with it. But not unlike drumming, where the goal is to convey a certain experience to the audience in a way that is clear and and concise. It's obviously it's a lot different now that I think about it, but there are some overlap. There is some overlap, I should say. I'm a big fan of TV and movies, and I watch a fair bit of my favorite shows and my favorite movies, and I'm kind of a hardcore movie geek. I'm fans of certain directors and certain movies and that kind of thing, and I definitely get inspiration from that kind of stuff. Both from like an artistic standpoint, but also from just like, you just want to turn off your brain and watch something that's entertaining, that doesn't need to be necessarily, deep in any way. It's just, fun kind of thing. So yeah. Let's see. Joel Usher on YouTube says, "Hey Steve, fellow game designer and drummer. Nice. I really enjoy the videos and streams. Thank you very much, Joel." Let's see. Stanislaw is back. He's like, "Flams with double stroke combos." Yeah, that's the stuff. Matthias with the feedback on the 10-inch. Yeah, it could be the EQ. It could be this head. It could be this head is getting, beat to hell. Let's see where the 10 is in the mix. All right, there's me and there's you. And let's do this. Hall of Mirrors, folks. Hall of Mirrors. Let's do this. 1 second. It's funny. I hooked up my second monitor, and so I keep losing my pointer now, which is kind of funny. Oh, there it is. Hello, pointer. All right, we got our mixer back. Now we're gonna do this, and we're gonna get rid of this. Sorry, I see the laptop mic was off before, so now it's back on. So I'm gonna turn off, and we're gonna. Yeah, we're already hitting limits there with the 10, so it's probably the EQ. So I don't want to increase that level too much. So we're just gonna move on. Like I said, I wanted to try some tracks, at least one or maybe two tracks. We'll see how it goes. And I'm not expecting this to work very well. So you guys are kind of my guinea pig audience here. But we've gone long enough, without playing to music. And I guess you'll see what I mean with my concerns. I mean, the drum sound on its own is pretty good, but when I play along with a track, it tends to, getting it to sit well with the track is like something that I'm still working on. And so we can do a test here today. We're gonna try to play along to a track from my friend Dorian Chia, who is a amazing violin player, and I've played with him for a while, off and on, and I used to love playing the song with him. And I'm going to play the song a little bit without the drums, and then we'll play with the drums. I'm gonna put his Instagram into the chat here. It's gonna say that it's restream. So that's me. Oh, laptop mic is off. Oh my god. All right. Sorry. Thanks, Matthias. Laptop mic. Oh man. All right. So the link that I just posted is my friend Dorian. He's an amazing violin player, and we're gonna check out one of his tunes today that I used to play with him a lot. And there's just a couple parts of this tune that I'm actually not sure about. So we need to listen. There's a couple parts that we need to listen to before I go play along with this tune. And it's really cool. And the theme is kind of a Eastern thing. And so, it's kind of like the drum set kind of simulating a tabla, if you will. And so there's a section in 4, most of it's in 4, and then there's a section in 3. And it's the length of the solos that I'm not 100% clear on, actually. So we're going to listen and give you a little taste, and we'll check out those sections and see if we can't get a little more familiar with that stuff. All right, so we're going to do this. This is, again, Dorian Chia, and his tune is called Muezzin. And so let's see. Can you hear? Super cool tune. All right, here's the solo in 4. And it builds for a while, actually. I'm starting to get the hang of this multi-monitor thing. All right, so we're still in 4. And this section in 4, when I played this with him like years ago, and I just kind of did like a generic groove kind of thing, like just hi-hat and snare, and it's been years, and so now when I hear it, I kind of I wanted to try something different, something a little more 16th note-y, involving like rim and cross stick and just like 16ths on the snare and stuff. So I'm gonna experiment a little bit with that today. Okay, here we go. Okay, there it is. Okay, so that's the solo on 4. The solo on 3 is cool. It's this like super rockin' riff, dun 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 dun, and the solo is a different length. And so I need to listen to the solos and get a sense of like when it ends. Okay. Changes sounds here. Right here. Okay. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. This is the part I'm not sure about. That transition's it's so sudden. Oh man, so this is what I'm dealing with here. I mean, I've got this tune, like, I'm very familiar with this tune, but we used to play it live, and you can look at each other and stuff to cue the solos, but obviously we can't do that with the recording. And I haven't taken the time to like chart it out or anything. So yeah, we're gonna try to play it. All right. Let's let's do this. All right, we've got a little multicam action going. Ugh. This is good because you can't see me at all. What? Oh man! All right. This is a cool tune. I like this tune. Again, it's Dorian Chia is the artist, and the tune is called Muezzin. All right. All right. No idea how that sounded. I mean, I made a video of that earlier, and I mean, level wise, it was all right, um, but the drums just weren't sitting like in the track, you know, like as well as they could be. So again, it's Dorian Chia on violin, good friend of mine, amazing violinist, and that tune is called Muezzin. Um, so Bobby Vincent says, I don't think the drums have sounded better. Jeez, that's good. Sounds great, Steve. What band is this? I joined late. Borba Cymbals, hello, welcome. Dorian Chia. I put the Instagram link in the chat for YouTube, but I'll just put the guy's name here. Yeah, that's me. The chat that says it's from Restream, that's me. So Dorian Chia, amazing violin player, and you could see like what I mean, like with the the section in 4 where it comes down way low, and I'm not very good at like the clickety clackety stuff. Some guys are like they really have that stuff mastered. Thank you very much, Matthias. Matthias says sound was great. That's a good sign, Matthias. You have great ears. Matthias is an amazing player, you guys. If you haven't seen Matthias's channel, definitely check him out. Yeah, and I missed the two the two transitions that I was reviewing before I started playing. As coming out of those solos. I did not nail those, but I quickly kind of recouped. But it's a great tune, isn't it? Oh man, Dorian's so great. He's got tons of content too, on like every social media imaginable. So please check him out. And support Dorian, and thank you, Dorian, for letting me use your tune. This will not be the last time that I play that tune. I kind of want to play it again, actually, just to kind of, some of you drummers might relate, like when you play something and you know about the mistakes that you made, and you're eager to kind of like, oh, let me do it again and try to just do it better. There's momentum to that. I wonder. Special effects in the tune that could serve as cues, right? Yeah, there is. Matthias says on YouTube, there's some special effects in that tune that could serve as cues. Yeah, there's. I mean, during the solos, there's like this kind of, this kind of patch that ascends in tone to give it this, this kind of building thing. But I find that the length of it is different in the 4 section versus the 3 section, and it's silly to. I mean, really, I should just chart it out and count how many bars. But in 3, he switches sounds at one point, and I missed that. Like I wanted to, I wanted to switch to the ride when he does that, but I missed it. I was still on the hat, and so that sounded bad. But whatever. You just go with it. This is what we do. Warts and all, we say. The mistakes and the process are all part of this, and I certainly don't want to try to put out a thing that's like, oh, only sounds perfect, under my perfect control, like all the time. Like this is. Besides, if I don't like it, I can just delete this, which I may do when I listen back, and I'm like, oh man, this is so bad. Oh man, but that was fun, actually. That was fun. Borba Cymbals on YouTube. You asked about NAMM a few streams ago, or the last stream. Are you going to NAMM? Is anyone going to NAMM? I see on my Facebook feed there's people posting pictures, the NAMM selfies. I don't know if anyone's here is going or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I remember going to NAMM like years ago. It can be fun. The price of admission for NAMM is just like, it's so high. Like, and I don't even mean like monetarily. I mean like just the time and the driving and the parking and it's like, it is a thing, man. It's a thing. So, all right. So that was fun. That was Muezzin from my friend Dorian Chia. And I tried to get Dorian to get me some loops to play along with, because I really love the sound of electric violin. And I thought it would be cool to have like an 8 or a 16 bar loop for me to kind of groove and blow over. And he sent me some tracks, but they were just like isolated tracks. They didn't seamlessly loop. So I need to get back with Dorian and see if I can get some loops. because there's just something about the sound of the electric violin that I just think is so. I think the drums go well with it, first of all, and I just like the sound of it. You know, it's pretty uncommon, and it has for me it has you know, there's just something about the sound of that instrument that is just I don't know, very stimulating. All right, 1 second. I'm going to unplug something and take a chance. And this could go horribly wrong, but we're going to unplug something here. Stand by. All right. Oh, that didn't do anything. All right. Let's see. The very first comment, one of the first comments, was Stanislaw Romanowski in Poland on YouTube, who asked about flams. And like flams with doubles and that kind of thing, and so let's do that. You know, the thing about you know, I call them like flam rolls, or there's kind of a trick to that, a trick to you know, phrases that have flams that make it kind of easy to do, like, you know, 3 strokes. You know, what you think is 3 strokes with the right hand, but it's actually not. And the secret for me to playing phrases that start with flams, whether it's like a flam and a double stroke, well, if you're playing like Blejda stuff or whatever, you know, usually my flams are left-handed flams, which means my left hand comes down second and is the accent. And so that's the thing. Like, you know, if you're going right-left, then because the right hand is first, you know, the right hand now has to wait for the left hand to come down. And that little bit of time is just, you know, enough time for it to then do whatever it has to do next, like play a double stroke, you know, or whatever, you know. So some of my favorite, you know, like flam roll stuff is like this kind of stuff, you know. I'll do some and then I'll talk about it. You know, and a lot of that stuff is possible because, you know, because of the thing that I mentioned, where it's like, you know, when you play the flam, let me turn off the, this is going to be loud because the talkie mic is on. And some of those are like, you know, flat too, but you know, just the fact that if I do this, you know, right, left, then because the right's first, again, it has a little bit of time to like come back and start your doubles. You know, and that's kind of the key to, like, you know, the Blejda and all kinds of stuff. And again, like a lot of stuff, like you have to have the idea first. You know, like I keep saying, like hitting the thing is the last step in the process. You know, first you have to, you know, you have to want to do the thing. You have to have the ideas. And I like that kind of phrasing, you know, but blues, zap blues, zeta blues, zeta blah blues, blah blues, blah blues. You know, I mean, I'll do some of that stuff just a lot slower, I guess. Once you start playing like triplety thing, like 6/8 kind of stuff, then it's like it can really take off. Because up till now, I've just been doing kind of 16th notey, 32nd notey kind of stuff, But with the triplety part of this, like I feel like there is a little bit more space between the notes, right? And so you can really use that to kind of like open up the strokes of the flam. And they're not. I don't see it as like two 30-second notes. Some folks do that, and they turn it into like paradiddle kind of stuff where it's like right left right right left left, and I don't see that. And the reason is because the right left, when you're playing a flam, takes up the space of a single note. You're just kind of taking two notes and like kind of sloppily like throwing them on one note, as opposed to like two separate 30 seconds, which is different, like mathematically, and it sounds different too, But I guess, the important thing is that you play the thing that you want to play, and it sounds the way that you want it to sound, you know what I mean? And I guess, whatever method you need to get there is the winning method for you. But this is just how I think about it and my approach, Getting into triplety kind of stuff, like taking triplets and, breaking them up into groups of two, which is, super tricky if you're not used to how that sounds, and then mixing that with flams. And flam rolls can be fun, right? So let's do a little bit of that. So, yeah, pulled off some of that stuff, but and I tried to slow it down, and like you get the point. It's like it's like these whole notes, these long notes that consist of like a double stroke roll that starts with a flam, using that method that I mentioned earlier. When you play the flam, but that right hand, it has the opportunity to start the double, like right away, because its job is done, you know. So, and yeah, like taking the same phrase and, putting it on different parts of the kit, like I still think there's potential for some cool phrases here that I'm not doing with this stack and like toms. I was thinking earlier today while I was walking my dog. Actually, I was like, oh, this is like, these two things together, could really be a thing. And so I'm spending time messing with that, You gotta like really milk stuff. Like, I mean, like, like take an idea and just stick with it and put it all over the kit and make sure you're getting everything you can out of that one idea. Instead of just like, I learned the sticking to one lick and I'm going to just play it that one way. Like every cool lick is a method to play other cool phrases using that same method, And so I'm a big proponent of once I learn something, the way it's intended to be done, then I'm like, okay, well, what else can we do with this, You can really get a lot out of stuff if you approach it that way. So that's talking about flams, and flame rolls and stuff, and Stanislaw Romanowski in Poland. That was for you, sir. Or no, you're not in Poland. I'm sorry. Romulus is in Poland. Stanislaw Romanowski, you did not say where you were from. I'm sorry, I mentioned Poland, and that's not at all where you're from. Okay. Let's see, what else is folks saying? What else are we talking about here? Let's see. DVH Drum says, what games have you worked on? I work at Infinity Ward, and before that I was a designer at Treyarch, and before that I was in game production for years. But as a designer, I worked on Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, Ghosts, Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare, and Modern Warfare 2. And before that, in production and in QA, I was involved in pretty much every major first-person shooter that Activision put out all during the early 2000s, in some capacity, whether it's taking screenshots or working on localizations or making cool promotional videos, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Hey, Steve, can you comment on the headphones you're wearing? I believe they're Metro phones. Have you heard of the blue MiFi phones that Vinny recommends for studio recording? Says Roy Rolf on YouTube. These headphones are old. Yes, you're right. And I have like old iPhone earbuds underneath of them, which is kind of a homemade DIY do-it-yourself hacky setup for sure. And the headphones that Vinny did that ad for, like the blue MiFi phones, I bought a pair of those. And they sounded good, but they broke. They physically broke. Like literally the part of it, like the actual phone, like the thing holding it, like it snapped. Because the elastic pressure to keep them on your head is like every time you pull it away, there's like a lot of resistance, Anyway, I bought a pair and it broke, and they're expensive, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend those. I'm still looking for a good pair that does this, that like shuts out the sound, but like has good sound to play to. So we'll see. What are folks saying? Thanks for hanging out, folks. My name is Steve Holmes. We're streaming live from Los Angeles. We're reading the comments, and we are answering questions. That's what's happening right now. Doug on YouTube says, hey, Steve, you have any go-to displacement exercises? Displacement exercises? I don't have any exercises above and beyond just practicing it, but I think that, I think displacement is the most, not the most important. The thing for me with displacement that really helped me was just understanding, really what it is, and all it is, in terms of, it's just taking a groove and it's just putting it putting it on the same subdivision in a different place. You know, it's not metric modulation where you're like, you know, changing the meter or anything. Cheers. You know, like for example, displacing, you know, a groove in 4/4, displacing it by a 16th, and at a glance, if you're not familiar with that, it appears to be tricky, but really, like if you're familiar with 16ths and counting them out, and 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and like, you know, we're all used to counting them out. You know, 16 notes are 4 notes per quarter note, right? And once you get like intimately familiar with those 4 notes and what it looks like, if you just bring down, you know, the E and the you know, and the fact that this also helped me in this regard. It's like if you're playing a subdivision, you're playing hand to hand, you're not playing any doubles. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again because it's helpful. If you're playing a subdivision, you're not playing any doubles. Then each hand is playing half of that subdivision. So if I'm playing 16th notes hand to hand, you know, my right hand's playing 8th notes. It's playing 8th notes on the beat, on the downbeat rather. And my left hand is also playing 8th notes. It's just that they're displaced by 1 16th note actually. And so getting intimately familiar with what your hands are doing and what those upbeats sound like, you know, and getting control over playing 16ths and being able to instantly kind of go to the E and the without losing the downbeat. And just the left hand is doing the E's and the right? So you want to be able to kind of change gears to where like that's, you know, you're kind of riding the E's and and you start to accent various notes on the E's and and you never lose the real quarter note. So you're basically playing 8th notes and they're displaced, right, by a 16th, right? That's what displacement is. But it was helpful for me to just kind of, you know, analyze and understand it on that level that I'm talking about. But also like musical examples of figures that use the E's and the like horn figures, right? Like if you're playing funk, right? If there's a horn or keyboard, whatever, if there's an instrument playing that, and you can sing that to yourself while you're playing the groove, right? And you know where those notes are in relation to your backbeat. Right? You know, like again, like writing this stuff out and seeing where these notes are in relation to the quarter note is the important thing, because you don't want to lose a quarter note. You want to get that internal quarter note that does not move, is not distracted, is not swayed by these advanced rhythmical concepts, right? So if you take a musical figure like that and you start playing boom, bass, boom, boom, da, and you start accenting that, you know, putting that on cymbals without changing the backbeat, and then completely putting the groove on those figures, you know, which is like, that's a good exercise for displacement, which is what the question is, right? So let's do that. Okay, so it's possible that if you were to isolate certain parts of what I just played, just chunks, and you just start playing that part, it's going to be difficult to know where the downbeat is, right? Because the nature of this is that it is deceptive. But just take comfort. It's all just upbeats. It's all just the E and the And what you want to do is just put stuff there until you're comfortable and you don't lose where one is, right? And so I tried to spell out where those notes are. I tried to always keep the real quarter note going. I tried to play a displacement groove on those notes and stay there for more than whatever I did, 2 bars, whatever, 3 bars, 4 bars, you know? And those are like the 16th, displacements, those are the tricky ones. Like the 8th note displacement stuff it's a lot easier because you're just playing on the ands, and so the process is the same for that. You just want to live there. You just want to live there and get comfortable there. And while you live there, you still have the real quarter note. The real quarter note is internalized. You're not losing it, but you're just spending a little time on the ands, spending a little time with the E's and the U's, but the whole time you know where the quarter note is. So yeah, there you go. That's my take on displacement. Those horn hits, that stuff is like, we can all, sing catchy things, and that's a great way to do it, Let's see. That was for Doug S on YouTube, who asked about displacement. Okay. Anyone who's interested in supporting the channel on YouTube, there's a super button on the stream that you can hit to support the channel that way. I don't have a Patreon or anything, so if folks are interested in supporting, by all means, all support is welcome. It would be great if folks could chip in and give a little back. We've upgraded the room over the years as a result. We've got new overheads and some lights and that kind of thing. So any support is appreciated. steveholmes@gmail.com, on PayPal, etc. Let's see what else is folks saying on YouTube. Let's see. Hello, Master. Not exactly drum question, but I really wonder what profession you have had at Infinity Ward. Like I mentioned, I'm a game designer at Infinity Ward. I'm a scripter. I work on the campaign stuff. I don't work on multiplayer. Let's see. Stefan Hammer 1. I recognize that name. You've been here before, right? On YouTube. Hey, Steve, was Buddy much of an influence on your playing? Yes. Buddy was an influence in terms of like, well, first of all, like there's some footage of Buddy that's just, it still hasn't even been approached in terms of just physical facility and speed and efficiency. No one's come close to that. I mean, I've wafted a little bit, like some guys, like they get close, and some guys obviously can do stuff that Buddy could just never do. But I mean, it's not a contest. First of all, I mean, but second of all, like in addition to just the generic the speed and the technique, I mean, I think Buddy Rich was the best big band drummer of all time. Like in terms of big band music, like I don't think anybody brought a big band to life in terms of like that genre like Buddy. I mean, just my personal opinion. I mean, and I haven't spent a whole lot of time like researching all the big band drummers, but man, you could tell that Buddy was very particular about the kind of energy that he wanted his band to put out, and the kind of energy that he himself wanted to put out, and he did it. He had very specific, ideas about that. I don't mind speculating. Yeah, I love some of that old footage of Buddy. It's just one of a kind, changed the generation. It's just way ahead of his time, and like I said, still no one, like in terms of left hand and stuff. I mean, and it's not all like it's not. I don't love all of it. Like there's that clip of Buddy where he talks about like traditional grip and why he doesn't like batch grip, and I just think what he says in that video is just silly, really. I remember one year at NAMM, actually, since it's NAMM season, and we're talking about NAMM. There was one NAMM years ago where I went with the old House of Drumming crew. It was me and my friend Derek, and some other folks, and there was a Buddy Rich booth there, and Kathy was there, Kathy Rich, Buddy's daughter, and there was a Buddy set there, and I went I went up to it, and I'm checking it out, and there was like a 20-inch rock ride or a 22-inch rock ride on there, and I was like, really? You know, and I asked Kathy, I'm like, you know, what what would Buddy say about this ride, you know? And I forget what she said actually, because she said something like, oh, I think Buddy would like anything that sounded good, and that's probably true. But I just thought it was funny. Let's see. Retrail on YouTube says, have you ever had ligament or tendon issues in your arms from overuse? Yes. Yes, I have. I have some carpal issues in my wrist from a number of things. Actually, it's not just from drumming. I mean, like I went to a doctor and you know, talked to him about this kind of thing, and he did a bunch of tests, and you know, I've got, you know, I had, you know, tennis elbow and golf elbow and the carpal tunnel and there's another kind of tunnel. I forget the name of it because it was like, I don't know, years now. About a year and a half now since that happened. But anyway, yeah, I did have issues, and I made some changes to my lifestyle that really helped. And it wasn't so much the drumming actually that was stressing my arms, believe it or not. I was doing a fair bit of swimming, and the way that I was swimming was really hurting the tendons in my elbows. And so when I changed that, it really helped. I got some things at my computer desk, like I got an elbow support, and I got a vertical mouse, which is a mouse that your hand uses like this instead of this, because this is like more of a natural position, and so I use my mouse like that, and that was a big help because I didn't want to spend all day like, you know, turning my wrist, because at the end of the day it's just bending and usage. It's just bending and using it that can cause issues over time, including, and this was the one that really surprised me, and I've mentioned this before, sleeping. How you sleep. I sleep in the fetal position. Like, I tend to bend my hands when I sleep, and that counts, folks. If you're bending your hands while you sleep, that counts as wear and tear and stress on your wrists. And so I actually got a couple of like braces to keep my hands kind of straight while I sleep. And for a while I wore a brace for my elbow too that kept my arm bent at a slight angle instead of like this. And it was fine actually. That also helped too. But these days, I because of those changes, I don't really feel it a whole lot. I feel it a little bit, get a little bit of tingling. But other than that, I mean, you know, that's what I got for that. Let's see. So what was your favorite Quake game? Quake 3. The original Quake 3 is my favorite Quake game by far. Quake 3 DM17 for life. Let's see. The Lord Broseph on YouTube says, have you ever tried Phil Collins in the Air Tonight with the drums? You know, of all the questions I've ever heard, that's definitely one of them. I haven't tried that tune actually. Let's see. Martin says, slow music can't keep a beat. That sounds more of a statement than a question. Stanislaw says, Steve, thank you, Steve. You're a great drummer. Or more question, can I download somewhere your instructional video shed some light? No, not that I know of. You can buy it on Amazon. You can buy Shed Some Light on Amazon. But honestly, I mean, anyone that hasn't seen my YouTube channel, there's tons of videos on my channel. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel and you have a YouTube account, please do so. There's tons of content on there at this point. All the streams are there that we've done in the past, almost all of them. A lot of videos that I've made over the years, including a 3-part video on how to get good, clean double-stroke rolls. Stanislaw, you might be interested in that. I think there's another 3-part video on like the flam roll stuff we were talking about earlier. All kinds of stuff on my YouTube channel. So go through all that stuff and then check out the Shed Some Light DVD. When was the last time you played your recording custom shells? Says Retrail on YouTube. You know, pretty recently, there's a video on my channel. We got it. We brought out the recording customs. We tuned them up live. That was fun. Check out that stream. It's on my channel. We set them up 8, 10, 12, 15. We took off the heads, we put on new heads, we tuned them up, we did a little test. We got them sounding pretty sweet, actually. And I was planning on leaving them up for a while. You know, that was going to be the kit for a little bit. But then, soon after I did that and I was playing them, I really missed my Phoenix. I really missed my Phoenix drums. And so I was like, okay, that's enough of that. Love my Yamaha Phoenix drums. By the way, let's see. Ken on YouTube says, hey, hi, Steve. Oh, Kevin from Niagara Falls, Canada. I have issues getting the speed on my bass drum pedal. 16th notes are particularly hard. How do you work on bass drum pedal? Pedal or especially with sextuplets? I mean, honestly, like, geez, your mileage may vary. Take this to Twitch. Wait, Ryan on Facebook, you got to take this to Twitch, Steve. Get these streams in front of more people. Thank you, Ryan Smith on Facebook. This is going to Twitch, actually. If you go there right now, you'll see it. It's going to Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Kick, right? We're going to all those places right now. So yes, thank you for that. I appreciate it, and I agree. That's why we're blasting right now. You know, foot stuff. I mean, I don't. My pedal tension is pretty high. I don't have any secrets with foot stuff. I play heel up, and it's just kind of brute force. Just brute force doubles. You know, the old dotted eighth pattern. You know, let's do a quick rundown of like foot exercises. Although you can't really see my feet, right? When I'm playing, nope. That's how I play heel up, right? Yeah, no secret to the foot stuff. Really, just brute force practice. Start slow and speed it up. Sorry for the sound on that. We've talked about foot stuff on other streams too. It's probably worth digging into the channel and looking for that stuff. At one point, I remember I put the laptop on the floor and tried to do like a foot cam here. We don't really have a good foot cam. Sorry about that. One of the most common accents for spicing up single rolls. Common accents. One of the most common accents for spicing up single rolls. Man, I don't know, Funky Punk on YouTube. I mean, you're basically asking for phrases because that's, for me, that's what accents are. The accent is the phrase. And the notes in between are just kind of to keep that flow going, you know? Let's keep moving here. Brandon on YouTube says, hey, Steve, I emailed you twice to your Gmail. First email was sent on Sunday after I watched your live stream. You but still didn't get a reply. Did you receive my email? I don't think I did, Brandon. Inquiring of a person, online journalist. Yes. I think I did get one of your emails. I'm sorry, Brandon. I've been really busy lately. I will see if I can respond to you. I'm not doing in-person lessons these days. Because I feel like I talk about so much on my stream and there's so much stuff on my channel. Like if someone were to come to me and be like, dude, I've done everything on your channel. I can play everything on your channel. Then maybe I would give them a lesson. I've put so much stuff out there at this point. You know, I feel like there's plenty of stuff to go through unless you have like very particular things that you need help on. But yeah, I just do this on weekends and things are pretty tight. And so like one-on-ones, I'm kind of pausing right now. Well, I really appreciate the interest, Brandon. And if you think you can change my mind, then continue to email me and maybe we'll talk. Okay. Let's see. Do the Derek Roddy exercises from his old VHS. Yeah, Derek Roddy has amazing feet. I'm sure he's got tons of good information about feet. My feet aren't that good, you know, so I don't really have a lot of useful information on stuff. Let's see. Thanks a lot from the Ukraine. I like your videos. It's helped me and gave me new ideas for my drumming. Awesome. So happy to hear it. Make sure you check out our buddy Alexander Marenko in the Ukraine. We love Alexander. He's he probably is my favorite drummer right now. ALEKSANDR. Alexander Marenko. He's just amazing. He's in the Ukraine. I love Alex's playing. Oh, Adam Wilson is here. Yo, what's good, Steve? Sorry, I'm like getting these comments like a lot later. Adam Wilson, how are you, sir? Good to see you again. Thanks for coming back to the stream. Let's see. Have you ever tried the Absolute Hybrid Maples? If so, how do they compare to the older Maple Customs? Well, that's a great question that I do not have the answer to. I'm sorry. I sat on my recording customs for years, and just upgraded to the PHX, and so there's just no looking back for me. The PHX, the Phoenix drums, they are the drums for me at this point. But the other series from Yamaha, I mean, I've never played a Yamaha kit that doesn't sound good. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I love their stuff, is they're just so consistent, and they almost tune themselves, man. If you have any ear at all, and you give it a quick pass on tuning, you can really make almost any Yamaha kit sing, which I think is just awesome, you know. Let's see, you want to stream on? Yeah, we're streaming all over the place, Adam. What can I tell you? We're trying to raise awareness, buddy. Let's see, Roy off. Hey, Steve, I was watching a guy on YouTube. He was saying thicker shells give more sustain and resonance. Thin shells absorb the energy from the heads and actually mute the sound. I don't know if that's true or not. I actually don't get into the gear stuff on that level, unless I'm like on the market for a new kit. Then I might be like, oh, what are the difference between, you know, these thickness shells and stuff? But really, I just like what sounds best, and I like resonant. I like drums that resonate, and these drums, man, like if you're in the same room as these drums, they sing. So these drums sound like they're coming out of a preamp when you're just putting like no mics. They're just louder than other drums, these PHX drums, and I love that presence. I love that resonance, you know. Let's see what else we got. Adam Wilson's like, no foot cam. Yeah, I agree, Adam. Hi from Spain. What kind of camera are you using? Is the webcam from the laptop or an external cam? Says Lorca. Lorca, this is the webcam that I'm talking into on my MacBook Pro M1. And I have another iPhone 10 behind me. This is an iPhone 10 using the OBS camera plugin. I don't have a camera switcher. I just use OBS, and I just have one additional camera. I think that's plenty, actually. Let's see. I may ask, on Rezo heads, do you use the same as batter for toms or something specific? Says Miguel on YouTube. Good question. Good question, Miguel. These days, I'm using the same on top and bottom clear ambassadors on top and bottom. And I'm really happy with the sound. Although I might go to coated ambassadors. I really like the kind of warmth that coated ambassadors have. These drums sound amazing with coated or clear ambassadors. But regardless, I definitely do clear ambassadors on the bottom of the heads. Okay. Let's see. We have cheap Yamaha Rydines at my college, and they sound pretty good. Yes, I'm telling you guys, Yamaha drums. You know, and there's other drums that are great too. But like I hear stories about like people order kits from other places, and this is why I say consistency. Like, you know, I know a lot of guys that love Gretsch drums, and Gretsch drums sound amazing, but you know, I've spoken to at least 2 or 3 people that have spent a lot of money on Gretsch drums, and when they get them, you know, there's issues or they don't sound, you know, you order a 10-inch drum and it doesn't sound as good as you order another 10-inch drum and it sounds completely different. It's like consistency is important, and when you're spending that kind of money and you're waiting that amount of time to get like these kits from these places, it's like I don't want to take any chances, you know. Adam Wilson, any advice for left-hand traditional grip double strokes on the toms? I can never get mine to sound clean, so I shy away from doing it. Cheers. Not really. Make sure that your drums are not set up such that you're fighting yourself, or that you're at an angle that is, you know, making you work harder than you need to work. I mean, having said that, you know, the angles of these toms isn't exactly, you know, it's not completely efficient. But I mean, I would just pick one lick, Adam, that has some doubles on toms, and just attack it until you can get that one lick to sound good, or take a lick that is two strokes, like a right left, and just do a double stroke with your left hand and see if you can get that to sound as good as two strokes. Like if you experiment with groups of two, like on your hands and feet. And instead of doing like right left, you do like left left, left left, like let's do a little bit of that and see what it looks like. That's kind of cool. Is like if you're doing the double with the left, and that frees up the right hand, so you can like put it on the cymbal. So when you're doing those groups of two, right, you can put your right hand on that first stroke of the double at the foot, the hand rather. Put it over triplets, right? Cymbal, you can come up with some cool stuff, Now you can do a gauge with the floor tom double left and the cymbal. That's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool way to come out of a fill. It would be interesting to come up with an idea for a fill. And just the last two notes are like a double. Instead of doing it over and over like I'm doing it just for exercise purposes. It would be neat to like come up with a fill that ends with two notes, two triplets, and you play it like that. Like the flam with the cymbal, and then the double with the left. Let's see if we can come up with one. And that last one was horrible. You get the point, right? I mean, that's what I would do if I was working on that stuff. Groups of 2 with the left hand and put it over triplets. You know, and we didn't even get into like 30-second notes or anything, you know. Then it's like you really got to turn on the speed. Forgot to change the mic. No, I left it on purpose actually that time. Annie McPherson says the kit sounds nice. Thank you. That phrase sounds beautiful. Oh yeah, it's fun. Like triplets and groups of 2 is fun. All right, so I'm going to play a little bit more, and then we're going to call it. Okay. And next stream next week we're going to play along to another track that I'm really excited about. So definitely look for that. My name's Steve Holmes. We're going to do a little more improvising because I'm having some fun and the kit's sounding good, and then we're going to call it. All right, let's do it. Man, I'm still having trouble with that lick. We talked about that last week. All right, I'm going to call it. Thanks for hanging out, folks. My name is Steve Holmes. We're streaming live from Los Angeles. We'll see you next time.